people less fortunate, people with less money will look at them and immediately equate, that money with jealousy, that money with happiness. But, the person looking at them wishing they had that money is probably 100 times more happy than that. I mean,
I've very much seen that.
What do you see as the common themes or the common problems?
I mean, I think that it's what you focus your energy on, and if you focus on there always being a problem, there will be one.
I mean, one of the things I had on my notes with you earlier was about happiness and wealth, or rather money not equaling happiness, and the fact that you can vouch for this because you know so many wealthy people. I mean, and I couldn't agree with it more. And I always get asked about what's my definition of success, and for me, I always say that it is to be happy, because I think, and if you're happy before you've made any money, then you've already won. I mean, obviously, I do believe that the financial journey along the way makes aspects of happiness easier, and I think if you love what you do and you've got the passion for it, then the two things often go hand in hand.
I'm sure you'd rather be crying on your yacht than...
Well, I'd rather be crying on my yacht than not crying on my yacht. But I also do believe that if I lost a yacht tomorrow, I'd still be smiling as if I had it today. But I regularly say that 90% of the people, if not more than 90% of the people who I know who have got materially more money than me, I wouldn't swap my life for theirs. Ever, because whether it's because they never seem to be happy, or they're under pressure that they bring on themselves, or whatever it may be. But I mean, give me some comments or thoughts of yours from from the kind of people that you deal with and you see in this space, and why you think they're not happy. Because obviously people less fortunate, people with less money will look at them and immediately equate that money with jealousy, that money with happiness. But the person looking at them wishing they had that money is probably 100 times more happy than that. I mean,
I've very much seen that.
What do you see as the common themes or the common problems?
I mean, I think that it's what you focus your energy on, and if you focus on there always being a problem, there will be one. And I mean, I'm very passionate about the concept of happiness, and I mean, I've travelled to Bhutan in the Himalayas and met the king there, and spent time at their Gross National Happiness Conference. They focus they manage their country based on the happiness of its people. So rather than measuring their GDP, they measure their GNH, their Gross National Happiness. So it's fascinating to understand places and people, and I think that yes, it can come from a standpoint of when you have the money, you realize you don't need it. But I mean, and I've gone on great adventures to try and discover more about this. I've gone and shipwrecked myself on a desert island for 10 days with no food, water or shelter to try and survive, just because money isn't relevant there. The group of 6 of us, and like whether you're the CEO or the billionaire, like nothing mattered there, and unless you were the guy that made fire or the guy that could catch food. And then you've got the contentment of just being there and enjoying those things. So I've experimented so many times about understanding happiness. In fact, I'm planning a TED talk on it later this year. But it's such a passionate area for me. And I think and what I see is how experience is the new currency of happiness. So it's about the experience and understanding like how powerful that is for you. And so for me, it's what you focus your energy on. If you can see the positivity in anything, then that's the value.
I mean, what I was thinking of as well when we talk about that, which is something that's been very much on my radar over the last few weeks, is obviously, as you know, I've got a baby due in about 6 weeks' time. And the immediate thing people are always going to me is, oh, make the most of these next 6 weeks. Your life's going to change. And I'm like, well, first of all, let's not forget I did this 16 years ago. It's not my first rodeo. But I also think, like, what do you actually think is going to happen to me in 6 weeks? Like, I'm not going to get my fucking arms and legs amputated, right?
Yeah.
A baby's arriving. Yeah. And, when you look at, all the parents who are so stressed in this, environment with this new baby, it's not because the baby's a problem. It's because the parents are completely dramatizing a situation that doesn't need dramatizing.
I was so, it's funny you picked up on, it's not your arms and legs that are being taken off. There's a very interesting study on happiness related specifically to that. They interviewed 2 sets of people. They interviewed some paraplegics who'd lost their limbs. And they interviewed some people who'd won the lottery, and they asked them how they feel, their emotions, and went through a clinical study on it. They then spoke to them a year later and interviewed those people, and both sets of people had the same level of happiness because they were then content with their situation, and everything then becomes relative. As soon as your situation is relative, that's why you need to crave new experiences every day. That's why I'm passionate about new experiences, because the time I always tell people, like, walk a different way to work, experience something new, trigger yourself to create new experiences in your life, because that's what's going to inspire you. There's that, like, once something becomes flat and you're not striving anymore, then you lose that vision for something. So it's certainly not about your circumstances. Once your basic needs are covered, then it really is down to you.